when you edit vocals, there are two things you really want to pay attention to. One of them is pitch. Pitch means that a vocalist is singing right in tune, or he's singing too high or too low. There are two terms for too high and too low. When somebody sings too high, it's called sharp. The person is singing sharp. When the vocalist sings too low, it's called he sings flat. And then there is simply out of tune. Out of tune is when it really hurts everybody's ears, even the person who has no clue about singing. If you are not experienced with those things and you think, how do I hear if a vocal track is flat or sharp? It is very helpful to pay attention to the coloration of the vocal sound. And interestingly enough, the terms sharp and flat give away how the vocal track sounds. A vocal track which is slightly high always sounds a little bit sharp compared to the one which is right in key. The vocal track which is slightly flat sounds dull or slightly flat. So the terms sharp and flat give you a clue. Now please, you should always remember, a vocal track which is out of tune badly does not sound sharp or flat. It sounds wrong. If we sit down and listen to it clearly, it will not take a long time to start to hear that coloration, especially when you work with a software which lets you optically see what you're doing, and then you pay attention to how it changes the sound. So this is a good way to learn while you do the vocal editing and gain the knowledge which helps you when you track vocals. Let's go ahead and open the track we just merged, and I go and say open, go to the audio files and look for my track which I called Becky Lead Vocal 01, and I'm opening the lead vocal, and what I'm doing in Melodyne, I say I don't want any pitch snap. I do not want the software to automatically decide where I want the vocal, and I'm making the grid bigger because I want to be able to see and hear. So I'm making it a little bit bigger, and now I'm starting to listen to the vocal track.
Some bright morning.
Okay, what we can see here is that the word some, she kind of glitches in the word, and she's perfectly at the very end, and I just want to get that up just a little titch.
Some bright.
It's a little bit smoother to get in the word some.
Some bright morning.
And then with the word bride, that little, it looks like a corn dog almost. That little figure shows it's right on pitch, but to me it's not really. I want to, again, she has that little where she adjusts her voice, and that's a little bit sharp. And I'm going to get this down, and I take the tool, cut the waveform, and just adjust it a little bit.
Some bright morning wind.
And what you can do, if you really want to get picky, you can take that little part where it kind of goes a little bit flat.
Some bright morning wind.
And now the morning is a little bit more consistent. So that's what I did here.
Bright morning wind.
The ning of the morning is a little bit sharp. And see, there's a typical way she glides into the note. You see this little part down here, and it's almost like a glissando. So this part is sharp. And usually this is a good thing. This is not a bad thing to have, but we want to make sure it is not too far apart. So I usually keep it in about the range of a half note.
Bright morning wind, or I'll fly away.
Okay, we're definitely flat here. I can tell just by listening to, and it's a little bit shaky. So we want to make sure that this passage does not stand out And again, as I said, when it's flat, it has more like a dull character, dull coloration.
I'll fly away.
You will notice I'm just smoothing out it a little bit.
I'll fly away. I'll fly away.
The dullness or the flat sounding coloration is gone as soon as we're in the tone.
I'll fly away.
And then the note here, because it's such a low note for her, she's obviously a little bit flat.
Away.
And again, it's pretty breathy because she sings it quietly because it's a very low note for her voice range. Okay, so we get it up a little bit. And let's see.
Away.
Yeah, and then now let's try to get this, make it more inside the key. So the waveform kind of gets smaller, but inside the note A.
I'll fly away.
There we go. And now it doesn't sound flat and dull anymore at the end. So that's what we want to pay attention to. And of course we can see it. We don't really need to hear it because the software shows it to us. But we're training our ears and we will have a much better judgment when a singer is singing in the tracking process, and we can tell the singer what he or she is doing wrong. Okay, now here we have a serious problem. We can tell she is way sharp at the beginning.
I'll fly away in.
Or the way, the A is a little bit sharp and the way is way flat. So we cut this into pieces. And you can again tell when it's slightly flat, it's more flat, more dull sounding. When it's right, the dullness is gone, it sounds brighter. And now this part is slightly sharp, so we get it down. Okay, we're flat here. You can tell it sounds, if we listen to the track, flat and dull.
Away in the morning. Away in the morning.
Way better. And this is a little bit too much of a glitch, so I'm gonna...
Way in the morning. Way in the morning.
Here this note is obviously flat.
Way in the morning.
And then again we're getting to the part where the singer, it's too low for the singer, or at least it's like the bottom end, so it's very hard to hit the notes right.
In the morning.
And we need to fix this. This is tricky. So I'm cutting it in a couple more slices and trying to just smooth it out.
In the morning.
And now it sounds much more natural.
In the morning.
Okay, when we're finished with the tuning of the vocals, we save. And we can close the software. I have finished the vocal track, and I have, as you can see up here, this is my finished version. And I have exchanged a couple of parts. I wasn't really happy with my tuning when I heard it in the playback. And let's just get a feel for the final demo tape.
Some bright